We talk a lot on this show about the swamp in Washington, D.C., but state government actually makes much more difference to your life. Running education, social services, transportation, economic development, you name it. And, unbelievably, it's even more corrupt than Congress. With local newspapers being killed off by the internet, there's much less scrutiny of the swampiness in state capitals. So this week, we're shining a much-needed spotlight. State-level corruption is tonight's Swamp Watch. Most state legislative positions are part-time jobs with relatively small salaries, so the legislators have other jobs to support their families. Nothing wrong with that, of course. In fact, it's very healthy. Until they pass laws that directly benefit their businesses. For example, Iowa State Senator Mark Chelgren runs a machine shop, a welding company, and a wheelchair parts plant. A recent change in Iowa's tax code spared those exact businesses from paying sales tax when buying certain supplies. Guess who was pushing that in the Iowa State Senate? None other than Mr. Chelgren himself. In Arizona, State Senator Steve Yarborough, up until just a few months ago, ran a school tuition organization that collects tax credit donations and then hands them out as private school tuition scholarships. What a helpful coincidence that he backed legislation to expand those very same tax credits. In Georgia, State Senator John Meadows is also an independent health insurance agent. He backed legislation to set a minimum commission for insurance agents like him. He even boasted that the measure was, quote, his idea. And in Hawaii, State Representative Sylvia Luke recently backed a bill that would have removed lifeguards' immunity from lawsuits. Well, she should know all about that, since she's also an attorney for a prominent Honolulu personal injury firm which would directly benefit from more lawsuits. How lovely life must be for these swampy state lawmakers. They make the rules with one hand and cash in with the other. But that individual corruption is nothing compared to the mass corruption of a shadowy organization called the American Legislative Exchange Council, or ALEC as it's known. Here's how ALEC works. It holds regular meetings where state legislators, think tanks and corporations meet to discuss policy. Those policy discussions produce so-called model legislation that is then adopted in state legislatures around the country. They literally just cut and paste the name of the state. Here's the outrageous part. State legislators' trips to ALEC meetings are often taken care of by its corporate members who pay between $3,000 and $25,000 to be there. They don't even try to hide the corruption. Through ALEC, big business literally buys the state legislation it wants. One set of identical energy bills was introduced in Oregon, New Mexico, and New Hampshire. The legislation benefited companies like ExxonMobil and Koch Industries, who paid to be at the ALEC meetings where the laws were written. ALEC was also behind legislation to stop whistleblowers exposing animal cruelty at farms tied to big agriculture companies. They got together with state legislators to write the Animal and Ecological Terrorism Act, which actually labels people who expose animal cruelty as terrorists. That was the blueprint for laws across the country designed to cover up the cruel and disgusting ways that big agriculture companies mass produce our food. But when special interests can't be bothered to go to all the trouble of writing their own legislation, well, they just buy their own legislators. And at the state level, it's much cheaper than Congress. In the 2016 election cycle, an average state assembly race cost around $70,000, while a House of Representatives campaign cost nearly $500,000, and a Senate campaign almost 3 times that. The special interests who really know how to work that system are the public sector unions. In the 2016 election cycle, Washington State Governor Jay Inslee reportedly received $750,000 in donations from public sector unions just as he was negotiating new labor contracts that ended up giving state workers 3 pay raises in 2 years. Former Illinois Governor Pat Quinn reportedly gave his state workers 15 separate raises between 2009 and 2014. Why so generous, Governor Quinn, especially at a time when your state was suffering a fiscal crisis? I wonder, could it have anything to do with the $11 million you got from the public sector unions? And right here in California, Governor Jerry Brown reportedly dished out a nice 5% raise for prison officers at a time when spending in other areas like schools was being cut. Nothing to do with the California Correctional Peace Officer Association's donations to the governor's 2014 re-election campaign, of course. But perhaps the king of state-level corruption is New York Democratic governor and rumored 2020 presidential hopeful Andrew Cuomo. Right now, his close friend and former aide, Joseph Percoco, is in the middle of a corruption trial for allegedly taking more than $300,000 in pay-to-play bribes from companies seeking millions of dollars worth of business from the state. And just today, there are new reports of Governor Cuomo breaking his own ethics rules on campaign donations, rules that he once touted as an example of his determination to clean up New York state government. According to his website, quote, no state agency officer or employee or members of state public authority or other boards appointed by the governor may contribute to and or fundraise for Andrew Cuomo 2018. And yet, the New York Times found that 37 of Cuomo's appointees gave him $2.2 million, either directly or indirectly through their wives, other family members or business associates. And another $2.2 million was donated by these people before they were appointed. These appointments are to boards with immense power, giving out billions of dollars worth of contracts, grants, and tax breaks. Governor Cuomo is literally selling these public offices for campaign cash. If we're really going to drain the swamp, we can't stop at Washington, D.C. We've got to root out the corruption at every level of our government.